Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi class, welcome to the fourth meeting of creative writing class. So in this meeting, we are going to talk about your short story outline or your story planner. Okay, so first we are going to talk about why do we need a outline or why do we need a planner before we write our short story? Okay, as the first things, outline or planner can help you to organize your thought and idea. As we know that short story is a type of prose fiction that has a generic structure that you have to follow. So, by writing your outline first, by putting your ideas into the outline or framework, you will work very organized because as you know that sometimes creativity should be organized to make the outputs of the ideas is well organized. So by having an outline, you can put your problems into several situations and condition from the smooth one to the climax, or you can really describe your story in one scene to another scene. So it's gonna develop the story in a good arrangement because your idea and thoughts is well organized. Okay, next, outlined or planner help you to develop a visual roadmap. As you know that reading writings, or in this case is short story or prose fiction, is about imagination, how you play with imaginations, how you want the reader could accept or could get the meaning that you want to deliver, and that's the outlines used to help you to give the visual roadmaps of your short story. As you know that you can illustrate your settings, the situations, and also your characters, physical appearance, feelings, and emotions, and you can deliver it to your readers by using the words, by using your writings, but you have to make sure that your writing is in good arrangement, is in good developments. That's why you need an outline or planner to make your final short story become very smooth and the meanings well delivered. Okay, and the last one says outlined or planner keeps you on track. Okay, if you do not use outline or planner, you will write or you will be in a what is it? Unguided situation. Your ideas will goes anywhere. At the first, you want to make your story to go on that on some certain directions, but and then in the middle of the way, in the middle of your writing, then you thinking about something else, and then you are directed to somewhere else, and then you just finally at the end you just realize that how come my story become like this. Yeah, that's why, because you do not use your outline or planner first. So that's why it's really important to have an outline for your writing to make your stories is well organized, and also providing a clear visual map for your readers, and also keeps you on track. Okay, so let's get started. So what you should do with your outline or planners. First, you have to organize the background of your short story. As you know that orientations is the generic structure or first part of generic structure in a short story as a prose fictions. Okay, so that's why in your outlines you have to tell the background of your short story first. You can start by your characters, main characters and supporting characters, and then the setting and also the times. For the characters, you can tell what kinds of persons is your protagonist or your antagonist. Whether he is a protagonist, whether he is antagonist, or what kind of person your character is, and then is he a girl or boy? Is your character man or woman, old or young? What kind of job your character has? Is he a doctor? Is he a lawyer? Is he a firefighter? Or is he a lecturer? It depends on the story that you want to develop. And how do they look like? Do they are they a type of persons who is fashionable, or live to wear makeup or no? That's relate to your story, okay? And then also about what do they want, what is your character desire, what is the main goals, life goals of your characters, how do they want to achieve it? Is your character is a hard worker or a lazy person? What are your characters afraid of? Is he afraid of snakes or dark or what? So you can try to dig your characters in a whole package from the physicals and also from the inside characters. Okay. Next, you can tell also about the settings. Where does the story or your short story takes place? Is it at a farm, beach, school, office, and so on? Okay. And then it's really important to know about your setting, because later on your short story, you have to also try to illustrate the situation or the place. If you want to take a place on a farm, you have to know that how you then imagine the situations of the farm itself, the situations when it is harvest times or planting times and so on. Okay. And then also the time. Okay. You have to also try to do the time settings of your short story. You have to put it on your outlines. Okay, so when does it take place? Does it take place in current times, or sometime in the past, or is it in the future? If you want to talk about a future world, for example. So you have to decide from the outlines. So what kinds of the background story that you want to have for your characters. Okay, next. If you finish with the backgrounds of your story or your orientations, next your outline can be moved to the conflicts. So you have to start to think about the conflicts of your short story. So let's talk about what kinds of conflicts that your characters have. Is it from internal or external? Internal conflicts is about the conflict that they have by their own self. It is about first conflicts is about the clash of beliefs, clash of attitudes, when you have frictions between your desires or your wants and the reality. So that's the conflicts. Okay, you can start by defining whether it is internal or external. Okay, sometimes short stories is about internal conflicts. Internal means that the conflicts, it comes from within. Okay, so you have a problems with yourself. You just busy thinking about something that you think it's not ideal, it is unideal, or it is internal conflicts, which means that it comes from outside. It can be comes from parents, friends, lovers, and so on. And or is it a conflict character versus character? For example, the characters between a husband and wife, parents and child, the conflicts between amongst characters versus characters, or your conflicts is about characters versus society. So this is about the conflicts which happens between a character, for example, with a larger society or larger group, for example. So taken for example, a conflict between a farmer with all the villagers at his hometown, for example. Okay, and or character versus nature. So this is the conflict between humans versus nature. It can be, I don't know, it can be a tsunami, it can be earthquakes or whatever. It's really up to you. Or character versus supernatural, something which is abstract, some things that you couldn't see. There are some horror short story that you can develop if you want to have a conflict of a human versus supernaturals. Okay, it's gonna be so amusing. And or character versus technology. There are some short story or even movies that has a conflict between humans versus technology. When you want, it is commonly about how you want, how actually you use technology for some needs, but then at the end you overuse or it is misused, and then the technology just against yourself or just distract and distract your life. Okay, or even character versus God. You can also have a conflict between character versus God. You just complaining about your life, for example. You think that what you have believed so far says nothing, is wrong, or some things like that. Okay. And next, also you have to write down also in your outlines about the major events which happens. So this major events is the started of your conflict. So what is the major event which actually happens on your short story, which start all the story? Okay, and then for example, you take conflicts about character versus character. So you want to talk about the cheating, for example. Your major events, for example, you found there is a wife who found his husband cheating on her, for example. And then, okay, so you can try major event. You try to write down that a wife who found her husband cheating on her, for example. And then the response is the what comes next. What is the response of your characters give about the events? So you can and then you can tell, for example, husbands chose the I don't know, the husband didn't choose his wife, or her husband left her, for example. And then for the next, how will the protagonist solve the problems? And then After the wife knowing that her husband is cheating on her, and then the next thing happenings is her husband's leaving her, and then what comes next is about the what your protagonists do to solve the problems. And then I don't know, maybe for example, you want to write down that the wife is trying to kill or trying to suicide, for example, and then you will come to the climax, or how will the conflict resolve. And then yeah, the families is broken, the wives is pass away, and the husband's um gone with his new partners. It's up to you. It's only an example. Okay, you have to write down conflicts to another conflicts to another conflicts until the how the conflicts is resolved on your outline. Okay. And then you will need to also write down about this the ends of your conflicts, or the ends of your short stories. So it is about the solving the conflicts, how all the characters on your short stories solving all the problems or conflicts. Okay, so you can start from what does the character's life look like after the events of the story. Okay, taken for example at the husband's and wife's story, you can describe what's happening at the end of your short story, or is it about the mess life of a wife, of a woman. So the lives just messed up, and it is not a happy ending. He passed away with a broken inside, broken feelings. I don't know, you can try also describe what's happening with the daughter or son. He lives with, I don't know, their grandparents. It's up to you. And what's happening with the husbands and his new partner, you can tell in the last part of your outline. So what your characters also has learned, you can also describe. So your, maybe you can describe that your the daughter or the sons then learned that loyalty is the policy, or some things. It's really up to you. It depends on the moral value that you want to put on your short story. Okay, and then you can also talk how has he or she grown as a person. Yeah, that's more about, it's same as moral value, or what do your characters really get from their conflicts, their life story. Okay. Well, class, after this, you will need to write down your outlines, or your planners. I've already provide you with the template you can access in our learning management system. So, see you on the next topic. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.